It is important once we understand what I truly am, to honor that understanding and to live from that understanding. And in satsang we can get some hints about how to do that. So if there are any questions,
the eye is aware of mountains, external real mountain, or what I see right now, like that tree. And the eye is aware of thoughts, and I'm aware of those things. Is the eye aware of subconscious thoughts that create feelings, or is the eye just aware of the feeling that arises, or sensation?
there is one core unconscious thought, which is the thought that I, consciousness, I, presence, is dependent on a body-mind, is limited, is personal. The non-dual perception is not merely a perception of the world body-mind, but simultaneously it is a knowing of itself. It's like in the night dream. In the night dream, there are all sorts of dream characters and dream events that you perceive, that you know. But for a moment, you have forgotten that you are not any of these dream characters. You are not that fellow who's walking on the beach in Hawaii. The non-dual experience is dreaming this dream while you know that none of it is you, or that you know that all of it is you. There is a knowingness of what you are, meaning a knowingness of what you are not. Because what you are needs not be known, it already knows itself. That it's knowing that you are not any worldly event, any phenomenal event. It's the unknowing of this knowingness. It's the uprooting of ignorance that removes all subconscious realms. But there is really one subconscious realm, which is the realm of ignorance, the belief that I am a mortal body-mind, that I, as consciousness, is a female or a male or limited consciousness, a personal consciousness. Did I address your question?
Yeah, I mean, the body has clearing to do, I guess, in this whole process of realizing, and that's where we
Yes.
have to understand this, of course. I mean, that's the only real understanding.
Well, you see, once you are clear in your understanding that you are not a limited entity, that you are not any phenomenal event, that you actually are the consciousness that knows all events, there is still the sense of me that will get triggered in the dream, in the world. Like somebody cuts you off in traffic, or you don't get, the raise, the guy next door gets the raise that you're supposed to get, or you're hoping to get, etc. Or your partner disappoints you, or whatever. And the residues of identification, the residues of the sense of me, arise as a panic, as a sense of danger. Something is happening to me will arise. And it will feel very hot. It will feel very hot. And it's really important, that's the bulk of the work, the bulk of the contemplation, that even though it feels hot, you remain in your knowingness. That I, consciousness, is unmoved and untouched by whatever perception arises on the screen. That fire will not burn you. Whatever it will burn, it's well deserves to be burned. But it will not burn I, the I am. It will not burn what I truly am. It will only burn what needs to burn. Let it burn.
Yeah, I think I'm overanalyzing by thinking of what a subconscious is and stuff. Just whatever arises, just let it burn.
The subconscious is, again, that body of ignorance.
It
Body
comes from who knows where, from what.
Learned structure. Yeah, it's a programming. It's a problem, and you can put it down into just two sentences. That the whole subconscious, you can call it ignorance. That's it. It's very simple. Ignorance, meaning I ignore my true nature. Ignorance refers to ignoring what I truly am. Meaning you mistake yourself to be Joe while you are Bill. Say hello, I'm Joe, everybody knows you're Bill, and what's wrong with you, Ignorance. Imagining myself to be immortal body-mind. That's the entire subconscious realm.
Yeah, thank you.
So I guess then you can say that I am the perceiver itself. I am the source of all things.
Yes.
The reality itself.
Yes.
That I walk around carrying this body, which is an object.
You don't carry it. How do you carry it?
I carry it. I carry this body. But from this perspective, it's an object. And as I then walk around and have quote-unquote experiences, these experiences come and go. And then I sometimes get attached to experiences, but really actually they come and go, they're not real. But the essence of what you're saying is essentially that I am the perceiver.
Yes.
So the reality and the source of all things.
Yes.
Now, then when you talked about death, it's not necessarily, I don't know if I see it as a belief, more as an experience of some sort. Not the non-experience, but an experience as we see birth and we see death. But that is then the birth and the death of this body, of an object, in a sense, as a plastic body, if it sits along, will disintegrate
At what point?
itself.
At what point does the
And all objects ultimately disintegrate and you won't use the word die, but yeah.
well, you know,
So is that a way to
the whole there is this impression that death is, there is a reality to it. There is a reality called death, which is an event in time. That suddenly there is death, and usually in the medical in our culture we have somehow agreed that the body dies when is it when it stops breathing, or when the EKGs, the EEG stops recording a signal?
yeah, but
There is an agreement about when this body is actually dies, and this is what we refer to as the death of the body.
Yeah, but as I am not my body,
Yeah, but
I don't die.
right,
I mean,
but let's examine the death of the body. Yes. But let's examine before we go, to a very good point you're making is, let's examine the death of the body itself, or death itself. Okay? So there is an agreement that at a certain, there is a checklist. We check, the breathing, we check the heartbeat, we check this and that. You say, okay, check. Okay, this body is dead. Right? But that's one let's say, formulation, agreed upon formulation, no disagreement, about the death of the body. But if we look closer at this phenomena we refer to as the body, we will find that the body is actually an experience. It's not some object, it's an experience of a body. And when you look closer at the experience of the body, your own experience of the body, you will find that your experience of the body is constantly changing. It's a shifting panorama of sensations, thoughts, feelings, memories, dreams. That you will find that your experience of the body is a constantly shifting, dancing, changing, and even in your deep sleep, you're still experiencing your body because the body is there, but your experience of the body in deep sleep is that of complete absence of any events, in a way, which is quite different from your experience of the body right now, because your experience of the body right now is perception. There is some sensation, maybe an itch in your leg, whatever. Thought maybe is coming through. But in deep sleep, it's still an experience of the body, but it's an experience of the body with a big eraser. On the screen, there's been an erasing of the screen. And in your night dreams, you're still experiencing your body, but your body might turn to be a pink elephant that's flying. It could be, or a butterfly, or a stream. You could just become a stream. Your experience of your body in the dream state, and it's constantly shifting. So the body as some fixed object, some concrete object, is just one way of looking at the body. But it is not a way that is representative of our experience. Because our experience is more representative of a shifting panorama, a dancing, a flowering, a up and down.
They're all an object.
I'm sorry? Yeah.
They're all an
They're
whatever
all,
the whole
absolutely.
panorama is.
They are all an object.
To
they're all,
being perceived by the perceiver.
yes, they're all objects. They're all mind. It's all mind. So the body has there are two aspects to the body. There is mind, which, as you said, panoramas, perceptions, and there is the true body, which is the eternity of peace and transparency, borderless presence. Now, this borderless presence we are experiencing it right now. You see? It's true that in most cases, the events take precedence over the peace and presence, which is our true body. The sensations, the perceptions seem to take precedence. They take precedence over the true body of peace and bliss and transparency. In particular, when ignorance is on board. In particular, when we believe that we are immortal body-mind. These images, these sensations, these thoughts take on great space. Oh my God, I am sick, I am going to die. And suddenly, the peace and the tranquility and the transparency of our true body is out the window. And fear, terror, great concern, a sense of urgency is on board. And thought after thought spins to try to save the so-called me as the body-mind. But as you well said a minute ago, I am perceiving them. I am the perceiver of the body-mind, not the body-mind. But the mind in ignorance doesn't understand what you just said. It doesn't even hear what you just said, that I am the presence, the awareness, or the aware presence. I am the being awareness that perceives that. The mind goes right away into, oh my God, what is happening to me? I lost my investment, oh my God. I lost my house, oh my God, what's going to happen to me?
So this moment, yes, there's peace. Well, it perceived, it's peace. But if I see an object, just take this object, there's some kind of sensation that comes out. Perceiving an object, looking for water to drink, and so on and so forth.
If you are thirsty.
But is it really, is it real in this other body peace in this moment? Does it exist until there is a sensation from the body that says it exists?
Well, what matters is for it to exist when you're thirsty.
All right, so take another.
Otherwise, who cares?
Take that lamp.
Yes. Same thing.
Does it exist?
That lamp matters if it's dark and you need to read a book and turn on some light.
Right.
So, but your question about
I mean, I want to know why I get out of that peace body to be attached to an object, which then takes me into the duality.
well, in fact, you never leave wholeness. You never leave wholeness.
Yeah.
You never leave I. You never leave the self.
So is that a false belief? Can you say it is a false belief?
Yeah, it's a false belief that you leave the self and become Vicky. Yeah, it's a dream impression.
Done through bodily sensations?
So
Through bodily sensations.
absolutely, through bodily sensations, above all, through the senses and through bodily sensations. That is the biggest drive. If you look at what triggers you to be Vicky, you will find much more than thought. It is bodily sensations. You have to do your own investigation, and you will find that yes, definitely through bodily sensations, much more than through thought. Oh my God, what's happening to me? Through sensations, bodily sensations. So it's important to realize that bodily sensations arise to be released. They arise to be like barnacles. They're releasing out of your body, and to allow them to release, to allow those feelings to release without making them into a personal event.
So sensation then goes to the thoughts that this is, or do they thought sensation?
No, it's a pas de deux,
what
you know.
creates
It's
the
a
other?
it's a pas de deux.
Okay.
It's pas de deux. Thought and sensations dance together.
But something triggers. There's a trigger mechanism there.
The trigger is at the body level.
At the body
At
level.
the body level. At the sensation level. Immediately. Through the senses, it goes right, the senses directly through the nervous system, through the parasympathetic system. It goes and just triggers a flare, whether it's a whole bodily thing or in the chest or in the face, and sometimes the face turns red.
To give you an example, it's tax time now. So you can be there in that moment of peace, the relaxed, the no agenda. And then you see your tax papers on your desk, triggers immediately into the personal self and the identification and what has to be done and action that has to. But
it's always a sensation that triggers the me.
the sensation.
So it's a sensation, it's a bodily sensation that triggers the me. And a bodily sensation is like the weather. It's just an event, except that it's an event that's really close. You know, like the leaves over there are moving with the wind. It's also an event, right? The leaves are moving, the wind is... It's an event, but it feels far. But if you go to your belly, and you have a contraction in your belly, or you have an ache in your shoulder, that's closer. Feels closer. So, irrespective whether it's an event that is at the body level or less so, such as perceiving something happening in the scene, which both are bodily levels, some are bodily sensations, some are closer. Like for example, toothache is much closer bodily sensation than sensing, for example, you're sensing that it's a snowstorm outside, right around your house, which also triggers a bodily sensation, but it has like more of a distance. But in either case, there are still bodily sensations. They're neutral. They're neutral events. They're impersonal events. And what gives this impersonal event the impression of personal quality is that the belief that there is something happening to me being a body-mind. It's the forgetfulness of what I truly am. So we forget, we get amnesia that what I am is not a body-mind. We go back to I am a body-mind.
Yeah,
It's a reverse amnesia.
You can see that. It's attached to feeling. Let's say it snows out there. That snow is attached to a belief. Oh, I like it, or I don't like it. It's cold, it's not, I want to do this and that.
It could be, yeah. It could be that we have certain feelings about the weather, which is quite silly, but it does happen.
So how to stay in that space of non-attachment then?
Well, does the mirror stay in the space of non-attachment to the images that appear on it? Mm-hmm. The mirror doesn't give a hoot. So who's asking the question, how do I stay in this space? You don't stay in the space, you are the space. A mirror doesn't stay in the mirror. The mirror is the mirror.
Yeah.
See, the mind creeps in and says, oh, how do I stay in that space? It turns everything into experiences, into a personal experience. If you pay attention, you will notice it's a personal experience. Mm-hmm. But it pampers it. It says, oh, no, it's awakening. It's feeling open and feeling the bliss and so on. But it's still behind the scene. I, the personal person, me, is feeling that. And I want more of that. But it hides behind the scene. You have to be really watchful of that.
But if you see that, like the mirror, and you can see the screen of a movie screen, right? It's boring to look at the blank state.
Yeah.
From that perspective, you want action to take place in that movie.
Well, you see that it's different. There's one difference between the metaphor of the screen is the screen, and not the images, and use it as a metaphor, because the knowingness of the self is glorious. It's not boring. It is at the other extreme of spectrum of boring. If boring is here, knowing of the self is on the other end of the spectrum of boring. And boring, the whole field of boring, needs objects, needs experiences. So I need a happy experience. Yeah. From the boring end, I need a good movie. I need a good theater. I need a good dance. I need a good companion. I need a good food. That's a boring end. Mm-hmm. The other end, the knowingness of the self, is none of that.
Because you are life itself.
It's.
You can say that you become life itself.
You're the bliss.
And then you are whatever it is that happens, and there's certainly not.
Yeah, I wouldn't exactly say you are life itself, because everything is secondary to the self. So you could say that maybe life is the self if you want, or life is a dream of the self. Huh?
It becomes a glimpse, though, Magdi. It becomes a glimpse. Yeah. You are that consciousness.
Yeah. So it's the experience of peace and happiness. So it's not like it's just coming to the boring. The comment you make.
When you explain boringness, I understood it completely.
Yes. So let's say that you go from the personal to the universal. Being life itself in that way, you go from the personal and being part of life to being life itself, being universal. Yes. But it's much simpler. It's really simple. It's really what do they say in Buddhism? They say the ordinary mind is the extraordinary. The ordinary mind is extraordinary. So it is the ordinary mind that is free from ignorance, that is cured from the belief that I am immortal body, mind, and that I'm going to die. So the whole spectrum of fear of death, that's an ended dream, ended. In terms of death, at the phenomenal level, everything is constantly birthing and dying moment by moment. You see, the cosmic dance. But I am that does not move and is unmoved. Everything moves, seems to move via I.